Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the English Echo. We're very happy you're here today. Today, we're going to talk about something interesting in simple English. I want you to imagine a feeling for a moment. Just, imagine you're sitting at a desk, and right in front of you is a massive, heavy, traditional grammar book.
Oh, I know exactly the kind of book you mean.
Right. You open that heavy cover, you look at the first page, and you see this huge list, a list of 12 or maybe even 16 different verb tenses.
Yeah, it is a very scary thing to look at. You look down that list, and well, you see these terrifying names. You see things like the future perfect continuous.
Yes, exactly. The really long
For
name.
most people, seeing that big wall of complex rules, it just makes them want to close the book immediately. I mean, it makes learning feel like a difficult math problem, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just a natural way to connect with other humans.
That is a really great way to put it. It turns a simple conversation into a math equation. It feels like you need this advanced university degree just to order a sandwich at a cafe.
Yeah, totally.
But here's the truly fascinating part. Think about native English speakers. Think
Mhm.
about people who have spoken this language every single day since they were children.
Right.
You might assume they're mentally organizing all 16 of those tenses while they talk, but they are not doing that at all. In reality, they rely on just 5 tenses for about 95% of their daily conversations.
Only 5. That is the magic number.
Just 5. Wow.
Yeah, it does not matter if they are speaking in a serious business meeting or, traveling through an airport or just laughing with friends at dinner. Those 5 core tenses do almost all the work in human communication.
That realization, I think, it requires a complete shift in how we think about learning. We really need to move away from that heavy textbook approach.
I agree. Trying to learn every single rule often just leads to overthinking.
Right, you get stuck in your head.
Exactly. It makes us freeze up when we actually try to speak.
Mm.
We need to move toward a more useful and practical way of thinking. It is about being useful, not being perfect.
Because the alternative is just, well, it's too painful. Think about a student who tries to do it the hard way. Imagine a learner who spends 2 full weeks carefully studying that dreaded future perfect continuous tense.
Oh, that sounds so stressful.
It is. They make charts, they memorize formulas, they prepare for absolutely everything, and then they walk into a busy, noisy coffee shop in New York City.
Okay, I can picture this.
They wait in line, they finally step up to the counter, and the barista simply looks at them and asks, "What do you want?" And the student completely freezes.
Yeah, it happens so often. That student built so many complex rules in their mind. They were carrying such a heavy mental weight, trying to remember rules for situations that might never even happen.
Right, so much extra weight.
So when they were faced with a basic, real-time human interaction, their brains simply crashed.
The pressure was just too high. They had so many complicated files open in their brain that they forgot the basic ones. They could not even find the words to say, "I want a coffee, please,"
The grammar actually stopped them from speaking.
which is truly sad.
It is sad because language exists to connect us with other people. It does not exist to help us pass a written exam. The ultimate goal is never to impress a stranger with difficult grammar.
Exactly.
The goal is to clearly share your basic needs, your ideas, and, your personal story.
So let us throw out the giant textbook today. Let us focus on the essential 5 tools. Before anyone can tell a story about their past or, share a dream about their future, they need a way to start a simple conversation.
Yes, they need to be able to explain who they are and what they're doing right now.
So how does the language help us establish our present reality?
Well, we begin with the foundation. The very first tool is the simple present. This is the tense you use for basic facts, for your habits, and for your daily routines.
Okay, habits and facts.
Right. For example, water boils at 100 degrees. Or, I drink coffee every morning.
It is very clean. It is very direct.
It is. A helpful way to think about the simple present is to view it as the tense of your identity. It answers the fundamental questions about who you are as a person.
Oh, the tense of your identity. I like that.
Yeah, so when someone asks, what do you do? Or
Yeah.
where do you live? You answer with your identity. You say, I live in London. I teach music.
That makes a lot of sense. But I notice a very common problem when people try to establish this identity. Our brains seem to want extra complication.
What do you...
Well, a learner will often make a mistake and say something like, "I am study English," instead of simply saying, "I study English." Why do we feel this strong need to force that extra word into the sentence?
Ah, yes. It is a very natural human feeling. When you are learning a new skill, especially a language, You naturally look for stability. You want to feel safe.
Right, you want a strong anchor.
Exactly. The verb to be words like am, is, or are they feel like strong, solid anchors. Learners often insert the word am because they want to firmly plant themselves in the present moment. They want to show they are truly here.
But they don't actually need it.
No, they don't.
No.
For facts and habits, the design is beautifully simple. You only need the base word. I eat, she eats. No extra anchor is required.
So the advice is to just strip the sentence down to its bones. Let go of the need for that extra anchor.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, if the simple present explains my identity and my habits, what do I do when my phone rings? If someone asks me why I am ignoring them, saying I study English does not help explain my immediate situation.
Right, it doesn't fit.
So how do we talk about the literal exact moment we're living in right now?
That requires our second tool. We move to the present continuous.
Yep.
You can think of this as your action tense. It is designed purely for what is happening right now in this exact second.
Okay.
So you would say, I am learning English.
I see the difference. I study English is my identity. It means I am a student in my life generally, but I am studying English means my nose is buried in a book at this very second.
Precisely. Let us look at a basic interaction to highlight this.
Mhm.
Imagine you are holding your phone. If your friend asks, what do? They're asking about your career.
So I reply with my identity. I teach English.
Yes. But if they ask, what are you doing? They want to know about your current action.
Mm-hmm.
You reply with the present continuous. I am teaching a class right now.
One represents a fact about my life, and the other represents an action currently in motion. But I hear native speakers use this action tense in a way that seems to break the rules.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, people often use the present continuous to talk about tomorrow. Someone will say, I am meeting my friend tomorrow. Why use a present tense for the future?
Oh, this is one of the most fascinating tricks in the language.
Yeah.
It shows us how humans think about time and certainty. The present continuous handles actions happening right now, but it also handles future plans that are completely arranged and certain.
Oh, I see. Because the plan is so solid, our brains treat it as if it is already happening.
Exactly. Think about the mental energy you use. If you and I have a ticket to fly to Tokyo next week, the plan is locked in. The arrangements are made.
Right.
Instead of reaching for a complex future tense, the language lets you use the tool you already have in your hand. You say, I am flying to Tokyo next week. By using the present tense, you are telling the listener that this future event is as real and certain as the present moment. It is very efficient.
I never thought about the mental energy that saves. You just stretch the present moment slightly forward to cover a solid plan.
Yes, beautifully said.
Okay. Establishing the present is vital. But humans are natural storytellers. We love to gossip. We want to complain about a bad meeting we had yesterday.
We do love to complain.
We really do. And the present tense tools are completely useless for that. Where do we go when we need to look back?
This brings us to tool number 3, the simple past. If you want to share stories with people, this is the most important tool you have. It is used exclusively for actions that are entirely finished.
So the event is over.
Yes, the event is over and the door is closed.
Yeah.
For example, I went to the market yesterday. Or she called me last night.
Finished and closed. I understand the concept, but I have to share a frustration here.
What's the frustration?
Well, you call it the storyteller's best friend, but the simple past contains the most frustrating obstacle for learners. I am talking about irregular verbs.
Ah, yes, the irregular verbs.
Why does the word go turn into went? Why does come turn into came? There is no logic to it. It feels like the language is playing a trick on us.
It is a very common frustration. It completely defies logic, and it feels unfair when you're trying to learn the rules. But a helpful way to change your mindset is to imagine these irregular verbs as very old family members.
Old family members, I don't follow.
Yes. Think about an old, stubborn grandfather at a family dinner. He's been around forever. He has his own weird ways of doing things, and he absolutely refuses to change his behavior to fit in with the modern members of the family.
Okay, I can picture that, Grandpa.
You cannot fight with him. You cannot force him to follow the modern rules. You just have to accept him exactly as he is.
I understand the idea of a stubborn relative, but honestly, calling them family members does not really help me when I am put on the spot.
Fair enough.
If I am in the middle of a sentence, I still have to remember that buy becomes bought. Does this mindset actually help me learn them?
It helps by removing the pressure. When you stop looking for a secret logical pattern that you think you are failing to understand, you relax. You realize there is no hidden rule. They just are the way they are.
So I should just stop fighting them.
Exactly. And the most comforting part is that you do not need to memorize a list of 200 irregular verbs to tell a good story. If you focus on just the most common, everyday actions, words like go, come, eat, see, buy, make, and take those few words will allow you to tell almost any story you want.
That actually does take the pressure off. I can stop searching for the math equation and just learn the top 10 words.
Yes, keep it simple.
Okay, that covers the basic past. But there is another past tense that causes a lot of confusion. Tool number 4.
Yes. The present perfect.
Yeah.
This is often the trickiest concept to grasp. It is built using have or has, plus the past form of the verb.
Right.
For example, I visited Paris. Or, she has eaten sushi.
This is the one that always raises a question for me. Why does it even exist? If I went to Paris, that action is finished. It belongs in the past. Why can I not just use the simple past and be done with it? What is the actual purpose of the present perfect?
Well, think of the present perfect as a bridge. It is a structure that connects the past directly to the present. You use it when an action happened in the past, but the specific time it happened is not important.
So the time does not matter.
Right. What matters is the experience itself and how that experience lives inside you right now.
A bridge connecting an experience to who I am today. Let us look at a real conversation. If my coworker asks me, have you ever tried Korean food? They are not asking me to draw a timeline of my life.
No, they are not. They simply want to know if you possess that specific life experience up to this very second. So you answer by building that bridge. You use the present perfect. You say, yes, I have tried it. You are confirming that the experience is part of your identity now.
But what happens if I want to tell them about a specific amazing meal I had in Seoul last year?
The moment you introduce a specific time, like last year, the bridge breaks. You are no longer connecting the event to the present moment. You are firmly planting it in a finished, closed past.
Oh, I see.
That is when you switch tools, you drop the present perfect, and you pick up the simple past. You say, I tried it last year.
That is a wonderful way to view it. I use the present perfect to announce my experience, like, hey, I have done this. And then I switch to the simple past to fill in the specific details. I did it last year. That feels very natural.
It creates a beautiful rhythm for storytelling. First, the experience, then the details. This bridge effect is also heavily used in professional writing. If you listen to a news anchor or read a newspaper, you will notice the present perfect everywhere.
Really? Like how?
You will hear things like, a storm has hit the coast, or scientists have discovered a new planet.
Why do journalists do that? Why not just say a storm hit the coast?
Because the present perfect creates a feeling of urgency. It makes the news feel incredibly fresh. If I say a storm hit, it feels like history. You feel safe.
Ah, because it's finished.
Exactly. But if I say a storm has hit, that bridge connects the event directly to your present moment. It signals that the event just happened, and the impact is highly relevant right now. It makes the listener pay attention.
The choice of words literally changes how safe or urgent the listener feels. That is fascinating. Okay, so we have established our current identity, we have built bridges to our past experiences, and we have shared stories about finished events. We have covered the past and the present. But what about the unknown? How do we talk about what happens next?
That brings us to our fifth and final essential tool, the simple future. We build this using the word will. I will call you later. It will rain tomorrow.
But wait, we need to clarify something here. Earlier, we discussed using the present continuous for future plans. We said, I am meeting my friend tomorrow because the plan is locked in. If we already have a tool for the future, why do we need will?
It comes down to how we think about intention and sudden choices. As we discussed, the present continuous is for plans that are already on your calendar. The thinking work is low because the decision is already made. But the word will is your tool for spontaneous decisions. It is for choices you make right there in the exact moment of speaking. It is also the tool we use for promises.
Can we contrast those two in a real-life situation? Let us see how the feeling changes depending on which tool we use.
Sure. Imagine you are relaxing at home. The phone rings. It is your friend, and they sound very stressed. They're trying to move to a new apartment, and the people who promised to help them did not show up.
Oh, no.
Right, it's an emergency. They ask you, can you please help me move these heavy boxes today? You process this sudden problem, you make a quick decision in your heart, and you answer, do not worry, I will help you.
I use will because the decision did not exist 10 seconds ago. It was born in that exact moment. It is an active, spontaneous response to their problem.
Exactly. You are making a real-time promise. Now imagine a different scenario. You and that same friend arranged this moving day a month ago. It has been on your calendar for weeks. A different friend calls you and asks if you want to go to the cinema today.
Okay, I see where this is going.
You look at your calendar and say, I cannot go. I am helping my friend move.
Because that reality was already established. The decision was made weeks ago.
Yes. Think about how strange it would sound if you used the wrong tool. If your stressed friend called you asking for emergency help and you replied, I'm helping you, it would sound robotic.
Yes, it would.
It would sound as if their sudden emergency was already scheduled in your diary. Using will shows that you are a human being, listening and reacting with care in the present moment.
The subtle difference in emotion is incredible. It is not just about placing events on a timeline. It is about showing your intention, your certainty, and your emotional response.
Yes, completely.
Okay, so those are our 5 essential tools. The simple present for identity, the present continuous for current action and set plans, the simple past for finished stories, the present perfect for life experiences, and the simple future for spontaneous promises.
It truly is a complete toolkit for life. And as we start to notice these concepts, we see that mastering language is not just about learning grammar rules. It is about the everyday vocabulary we use too. The way we naturally speak often mirrors the ideas behind these 5 tools. Our slang reflects our perception of time.
I really like that idea. We naturally use simple phrases that do the grammar's job for us. For example, think about how often we use the term go-to. I might say, my go-to coffee order is a flat white.
Yes, that's a great phrase.
Without even thinking about it, I am expressing the exact same concept as the simple present. I am describing a solid routine, a reliable habit, my identity as a coffee drinker.
That is a perfect connection. The vocabulary naturally fits the concept. Another common phrase we use in work and life is in progress. We say the project is in progress or the construction is in progress.
Oh, I say that all the time.
Right. That phrase perfectly captures the feeling of the present continuous. It tells us an action is happening right now, the wheels are turning, and the work is not yet finished.
It is the action tense, just wrapped up in a vocabulary phrase. We also use the phrase a bridge between quite often. We might say a new policy is a bridge between the old way and the new way.
Yes, we do.
That is the exact concept of the present perfect. We use our words to connect 2 different points in time or experience.
And when we describe someone as spontaneous, we mean they make quick decisions without planning ahead. They live in the moment. That is the very essence of the simple future using will. A spontaneous person is a person who lives in the will tense.
That leaves the past. We often talk about going through something. We might say, I went through a really hard time last year, or I am going through a difficult process. We use that phrase to describe the act of experiencing something until it is completely finished.
Which beautifully mirrors the simple past. You endure the experience, and then the door closes. And it is worth noting that going through mistakes is a completely normal, natural part of learning a language. Everyone goes through it. The goal of using these 5 tools is never to speak with 0 mistakes. The goal is simply to be understood by another human being.
Let us prove how powerful this simple toolkit really is. We can do a very fast demonstration using just these 5 tools. Listen to how naturally a complete picture forms with just 5 short sentences about coffee.
Okay, let's hear it.
Sentence 1, my routine identity. I drink coffee every day. Sentence 2, my current action. I'm drinking coffee right now. Sentence 3, my finished story. I drank coffee this morning.
Beautiful.
Sentence 4, my bridge of experience. I have never drunk black coffee before. And sentence 5, my spontaneous promise. I will drink coffee after we finish talking.
5 very simple sentences. But together they communicate a rich, highly detailed picture of your entire relationship with coffee. You did not need to open a heavy, intimidating grammar book to do that.
No, I didn't.
You did not need to calculate the future perfect continuous. You just picked up the 5 most useful tools and you shared your personality with the world.
It always comes back to connection. Language is about connection, not perfection. We spend so much of our lives worrying about the complex rules of the subjects we try to learn. We get so caught up in trying to be perfectly correct that we forget the reason we started learning in the first place.
We forget to simply be useful.
Exactly. We forget to be useful.
That is the greatest trap in learning anything new. People naturally assume that if something is complicated, it must be better. We mistake complex rules for true competence. But true mastery is usually found in simplicity.
I want to leave you with a thought to quietly consider today. Think about your own life. Think about your job, your field of study, or even a favorite hobby that you enjoy. What is the equivalent of the future perfect continuous in your world?
That's a great question.
What is that incredibly complicated rule or that dense piece of technical jargon that everyone studies in the training manuals but nobody actually uses in the real world? Maybe it is a complicated golf swing technique that just makes you miss the ball. Maybe it is a complex software process at your office that slows everyone down.
Yeah, we all have those things.
Think about how much more effective and how much more relaxed you could be if you stopped worrying about the complete textbook. What if you stripped all of that heavy structure away and just focused on your own essential 5 tools?
It is a question that can change how you approach your daily life. Often the most advanced, professional move you can possibly make is to simply master the basics.
Thank you for listening to the English Echo. Keep practicing English every day. See you in the next episode.